Aho to ye travellers, cometh young, cometh old. 'Tis adventure we seek for the meek and the bold. A knight and a wizard who drinks smashes sour have a magic crusade for you this questing hour.
We gotta think of a cool way to introduce him when he sits down.
I know. Here he is.
Wait. I'm gonna.
You know, I still got my headset on, right? They're scrambling.
Unprofessional.
Surprise.
Wow, you guys are so prepared. It's so
Oh, God.
like we're so
We gotta think of something
I
else.
love it. This is the giddiness. You guys are just like, oh, it's so cool just hearing the behind the scenes. It's awesome. It's so
Oh my
it's all
God.
good.
Well, welcome back, travelers.
Wait, I forgot.
What did you
Like, what are
forget?
we doing?
Okay, do you remember the podcast, the thing that we do?
I forgot the
That's
word for
this.
travelers.
Oh. Welcome back,
Alright.
y'all.
What's up? No.
Welcome back, you
What's
guys.
up, bro? Oh my God.
Alright.
Okay. Welcome back,
Hello,
travelers.
travelers.
This is the Questing Hour podcast. It's me and Ari, as always, and we have a special guest today.
Senor SlowpokeFelitos.
Hello, everybody. Hi, Slowpoke. Is it Felitos? Well, you can call me anything. Felitos, just not
Whatever you
Felicia or
like.
fajitas or dingus. Just
Gotcha.
Felitos. Slowpoke's fine.
All right.
Good to know.
Write
Good
that
to
down,
know.
guys. That's the only things you can call
Yeah.
him.
Well,
Absolutely.
we're so glad to have you. This is so exciting, and it's been a long time coming. So
Yeah,
I
we've
know.
been months in the making, planning this out, and
Uh-huh.
like, what was it prior to like trying to have this actually happen? Like, you had your PC or laptop issues and stuff,
Yep.
and then
Yeah.
we had it was terrible to hear. dude.
and a million things happened. Yeah.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
It's like one thing after the other.
Literally.
Right.
And the even harder thing is that Maggie and I are an hour apart, but you and I are also 2 hours apart. So you're 3 hours behind Maggie.
we have a 3-hour time
So
difference.
Yeah.
she's 8 p.m. right now. I'm 7 p.m. and you're 5 p.m.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
technically Maggie's from the future. That's crazy.
I
Yeah,
know.
Maggie, what's it like over
Things
there?
are looking pretty good over here, I'll say. So
Okay,
you got
good,
some
good.
store.
All right, we're looking forward to what's in store for my future then. All right, this is podcast. Here we go.
More podcasts for sure.
All right.
Well, I've decided to invite you over to our kingdom because you are a content creator like us. But more importantly, I also wanted to get into how much you've been traveling lately. I feel like in the past few years you've done so much traveling to
Ooh.
not only network but like meet with people that you've been friends with online, and just like, I mean, you came to see me and hung out with us, you know, and I think that is really freaking cool, and that just says a lot about your journey as a creator but also as a person, and I feel like that's really exciting.
Well, yeah, no, I appreciate you even bringing that up because honestly, like, I think in retrospect, in the last couple of years, it's actually been really like a sightseeing of like, you know, breaking that routine. And honestly, like, it has to do with like the mental health aspect of like, you know what are some things I can change differently? Like, or what are some things I can change, like the scenery wise? And so I was figured out, you know what, let me go ahead and actually do my due diligence. And like, I've had so many lovely friendos that I've met over like the past almost 4 years now. Like this coming month in October, it's the 4-year anniversary of streaming over on Twitch. And so, you know what, like
Wow.
along the way, I've met some wonderful people, and I'm just like, you know what have I haven't done in the past couple of years, like in my life? Because like prior to like hitting my 30s and stuff, in my early 20s and up until going to my 30s, I never traveled before. Like the only closest thing I probably done was like travel it down like a couple hours away from to Disneyland or something like that. And it was just like, I needed a new scenery, a new change of like meeting people in the like outside of this platform. And so what it was is that like I started 2 years ago back in 2022, where traveling to like places like Oregon, places like Utah, Tennessee, all these other different places, it's really awesome that like people have invited me into their homes, that graciously like gave me a space to roommate for a little bit and stuff, and like just sightseeing. And I never thought in like in the lifespan of my entire life thinking like, hey, I'm interested to travel to Utah. You know what I mean?
Let
Like,
me
what's
just,
there for me? I
stop
have
and
no
go
idea,
there real
dude.
quick.
Right, I was like, I have no
Yeah.
idea what I'm going to be doing there for, but like there's like different sceneries, the nature out there, and like just the amount of friends
yeah.
I've met along the way. It's cool. Up in Portland, and again Vegas, I've never in my entire life would I have figured I would actually go to Vegas or step my foot in there, and that's kind of been my actual like like my go-to getaway. Like even though
That's
I don't
awesome.
gamble, dude. No, even though
Yeah.
I don't gamble, like I love to drink. I sure do. Like literally like walking down the street and
I
stuff like
feel
that on
that.
that strip. Like, oh, dude, it's been really cool that like I got a chance to, because of Twitch, ultimately thanks to Twitch, like organic networking and stuff, it's brought me
Mhm.
all these different destinations and stuff. And it's just only the beginning too when you really think about it.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
that's incredible. I love that you found this passion and you're really like pursuing it as much as you can. That's really
I
cool.
sure definitely
Yeah.
only because too like I mentioned in my 20s, like I was very basically held down like financially and stuff. Like I wasn't at a certified like a spot in my life where like I wasn't financially stable. I was just getting into my child's life, who at the time she was 4 years old, and I was just trying to get to know her too and get more involved and become a dad, you know what I mean, being a part of her life. And all
Mhm.
at the same time trying to balance a relationship, trying to balance my work, my family, my friends, and then streaming too. It was just held me down pretty much. And so there were some sacrifices along the way, and the most important thing that was for me at the time was my daughter. And so trying to get to know her, be a dad, how to like just go through like what her mother has done for as I was gone for a little bit, you know, for the first 4 years. And then all of a sudden now that my main dedications right now is my daughter, my family, and Twitch. And then so like now I have that like that extra valuable space that I can actually fill that with traveling and stuff. So it's really cool to meet people out there and have the opportunity to do that.
I love
Yeah,
that.
that's
I love that.
amazing. Mhm.
Yeah.
Have you been open to these opportunities like throughout your entire Twitch journey? I mean, it's been 4 years. Were you always as open to this networking and all these opportunities that it could bring you?
You know, it's funny because like because of Twitch, I'm able to express myself in a sense. Because back in 2009, I originally what I wanted to do is become a YouTuber, a vlogger, and like just
Yeah.
literally like
Yes.
go
Mhm.
on these adventures and stuff. But again, because of being financially like strict with what I had to do or like
Mhm.
my obligations and stuff,
Mhm.
I literally couldn't do all these things that I wanted to do as I am right now in my 30s. And so with that opportunity nowadays, it's like cool. Like I'm over here seeking to almost capitalize on certain things that I want to do on my little bucket list. So like travel to Vegas or like even meet organically network with people and stuff is really cool. But ultimately, or from the beginning in 2009, like I had my eyes set in entertaining people. I don't know what the hell it is, but like I just found it where like if I'm on the camera, dude, I'm like camera ready. I'm just like ready to tell
Yeah.
jokes.
Turned
I'm ready to be funny.
on.
Yeah, dude, I'm ready to be like a broadcaster, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Because like when I was a kid, like I literally wanted to be not only a professional wrestler, but I wanted to be a commentator in the sorts of like, you know, analyzing statistics and stuff. And like I was very good at what I knew, even though knowing wrestling knowledge didn't put me through college, because like I ended up being a fucking college dropout and stuff, and like some things just they don't work out, you know.
Mhm.
But ultimately, I figured that now that I'm where I'm at with Twitch, being able to be myself and like spread the messages of mental health and stuff, that I can actually have that platform right now than what I would have had in 2009. So it's really cool to like to reflect on the 2009 version of me. Seeing me right now would have been just like all like over the moon on what I've done
Yeah.
as of late. It's so cool.
Mhm.
I love that.
Mhm.
I mean, you probably didn't like anticipate like ever doing this like as when you were younger. And now that you're doing it, you know, it definitely is one of those things where you can look back and be like, wait, I actually did do what I wanted to do. And it's
Yeah.
worked out in better ways than I could have imagined.
Oh, absolutely, dude.
And I
Yeah.
like that you said that you wanted to be like a commentator, because that was one of the first things I noticed about your Twitch was that you kind of are already like a commentator. You are very performative and you are very like enunciative, and I mean you even do things like movie reviews and you review
Mhm.
videos
Oh,
and
cool.
you
Yeah.
chit chat with your community and things like that. Like you're already kind of doing that already. Like you turn
Yeah,
your
no-
content
Mhm.
into that and it works.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it very much, because like again, with the whole YouTube thing, like if vlogging wasn't going to be a thing that I was for sure going to be doing, reviewing movies was kind of like a passion I wanted to do as
Mhm.
well, only because I love going to the movie theaters. Dude, that experience of
Mhm.
like having a safe space, whether it's the movie theaters, whether it's maybe like going to the clubs and twerking or whatever, like to me it's the movie theaters. Like
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
surrounding of like, okay, the smell of the extra butter popcorn, like hey, maybe it
Yes.
does cost 20 to 30 bucks for like an arm and a leg also, along with buying popcorn and like sodas and stuff. But
Mhm.
just to sit there in the movie theater losing yourself for like an hour or two or even 3 hours tops, like
Mhm.
it's a way for me to like decompress and like de-stress of like all the things that are happening around my life, and just like cancel everything and just be focused on that. And so what I initially wanted to do is review movies and stuff, and I literally go like every Friday night to see new movies and such. And then integrating that onto my streams along with like how you mentioned reviews and like even like certain subjects, like topics that are like maybe too controversial or maybe like not of my range, but like it's a test of for myself, because maybe in the future this could be something where like doing like a talk show host, like a late night host or whatever, something like that, because I do have
I can see that. I can see that.
I
and it's cool
can
that, like,
see
'cause,
that
like,
for sure.
I definitely use this for the just chatting portions for the first hour or two of like having that monologue and like certain segments of that I have written down. Like, dude, these sticky notes here, like I have maybe 4 or 5 stack of sticky notes
I
right
love
here.
it. I love
use
it.
these for a way to have like cliff notes and stuff, a way for me to actually like remember like, hey, maybe these are your slogans, these are like your catchphrases, remember to
That's what I
promote
gotta
next
do.
week's. No, and
Oh,
it's
that's
a good,
awesome.
it's
That's
a
so
really
cool.
great tactic to use. It's a great weapon in your arsenal, because like a lot of times when you're going 1,000 miles an hour live on the air, you're just like, all right, did I remember to say promoting for next Friday's stream, or did I remember like, hey, I got this brand new whatever it is, just like to remember that stuff. It's really great to great use of what you don't really have, like the high-tech tablets or like maybe whatever it is that you need to implement into your streams. Like that little thing right there as a sticky note, dude, it can go miles for you. It's freaking cool.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And I love that you have a space for like that dialogue and like connecting with your community before you even play games. Like I've had people be like, oh, like why aren't you watching Slowpoke? He's streaming today. And I'm like, I have an hour before he starts playing. Like he's just chatting right now. I don't have time to engage. You know, I'll wait a little bit before I hop in.
Oh yeah.
Like,
Well,
I
not to
would
take away
love
from
to
your
be
guys'
there.
lines, but definitely you can count me as a certified yapper. Like the first hour or two is just talking.
I'm
You
like,
know?
Well,
I know
welcome to the
yapping
club.
it up in there.
Yeah, thank you.
That's just
I mean, which is
how it
fine.
I love
No,
that.
and it's just cool because like I know a lot of people like that are in my little inner circle, like, or even like the massive people that just follow over on the channel and stuff on the community. A lot of times they do hop in just the gaming and stuff, and then they either just go with the flow and see what they talk about, what about their day, or like asking the chat to see how their day went, or like maybe there's a certain topic they want to talk about. But I do have that open window gap of having something for everybody. So it's like the pre-show. We have music or something for people to just like, hey, you know what, as they're coming in, almost like inviting someone to your home. And so like once you're greeting somebody in with the monologue, hey, how's it going? And then we're catching up on people's lives and stuff. Most of them just wanted to hear about like what bad stuff happened to me or what good stuff happened, you know, all the different things that happen and stuff. And then from there we dive into the games, and whether we win or lose, that's whatever. Like I'm just there to just
for the
talk
vibes.
people's ear off. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Just for the vibes for sure.
I like
really
that you
cool.
mentioned that you just go to the movies anyway and you kind of bring that over to your channel. But have you ever found it difficult to kind of separate or balance like your life and content creation because you kind of blend both worlds?
I feel like there is a limit of like how much you should put into implementing certain things in between, like content creating and separating your own life from there, because it's always great to have a balance of like, you know, having your personal life and then having like your streaming life and stuff, or whatever content creation that you're doing. And so for me, when it comes to like watching movies and such, I'm not always in the back of my mind like, hey, do I need to review this movie or not, or like am I taking notes for like what's the good and the bad. Sometimes I'll watch it just for the show of it and like, you know, be in the zone or in that moment itself. But there are the times where like, do I want to capitalize on maybe reviewing a new movie that's out and people are interested in watching, like let's say the Deadpool Wolverine movie, or like the upcoming movies that are coming out soon in the fall or in the winter time and stuff. What movies to anticipate and watch, trailers, for example, too, like how to get people hyped and talk a little bit about the movies and stuff, and like maybe the prequels or sequels and stuff. There's a lot to it for sure. But I always have nowadays a very well balance of like, okay, let's not think about streaming. Let's not think about content creating right now. Let's just focus on being a dad first, or they're being like in the moment with your family and stuff, or like watching wrestling and stuff, because that's my other passion too. And I could talk to you guys for days about wrestling.
Yeah.
I
That's a
know.
whole different ballgame right there.
Yeah, you really gotta like compartmentalize and just in the moment also be like, I cannot be doing content right now. I gotta enjoy my life for
It's
a
so
second.
hard though,
and, like,
dude.
No, it really
finding
is.
that
So
balance
hard.
is hard. Yeah.
Like, because I've noticed, like, I mean, I've noticed even just sometimes where I'm like, oh, I could turn that into content, and I'm like, stop it, don't do that.
You just cover your head. Stop it right now.
I'm like, I'm living my life right now.
But I mean, that's good though, because you're driven with that excitement and the actual like motivation. To be like, it does. Absolutely, and that's always good to have.
And a curse.
Yeah, you might be like, some people might call you crazy or whatever, but like, yeah, you got to be crazy sometimes if you're passionate about something. You got to give it your all and stuff. Because if you're half-assing it, people will actually call on you out on it, and it just won't be organically like natural to put that out there, you know?
Yeah.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Love it. Love it. Well, so since you've been streaming for so long and just making content, how did you start? What changed one day and you were like, I'm doing it today? What was the catalyst?
Yeah.
If you're okay with talking about it.
Absolutely, dude. And it's really important too, because I'm a pandemic baby, dude. Back in 2020, literally everything was shut down and stuff.
Time.
Yeah, dude. Time to capitalize on like. Randomly, I got like a webcam for Christmas the year before, and so like I was like, you know what? I have a decent microphone and stuff, and like this camera here, it's like a Elgato, or I'm sorry, like a Logitech C93, whatever. I don't even know. I can't do technology or whatever, but like I'm just like, dude, it's a good quality camera. You know what? Might as well put it to good use and stuff. And so I was literally sitting down at home during the first couple of weeks of the pandemic and stuff. I'm just, you know what? When I first started out, I was with my ex at the time in her house, and her little brother was living with us. And just for shits and giggles, I was like, you know what, dude, like let's start a little team, and like we'll start off as like I'll use my nickname Slowpoke, and then his nickname was Felitos. And so I was like, okay, cool, let's go ahead and actually just tag team. You take the weekends to stream, and then I'll take the weekdays to stream, so because you know you're going to school and stuff,
I love
right?
that. Yeah.
No, it was good. It was really good. It was a good concept for a good month, until my ex-girlfriend at the time was just like, hey, he's thinking about the streaming too much, and he's sleeping at school, so no more for him.
No.
I was like, you know what? That's fair enough. I understand.
That's fair.
But I'm like, in his honor, I'm like, I'm gonna go ahead and actually take over the full name SlowpokeFelitos and just continue on to streaming and stuff, right? Yeah. And it's a shame because like nowadays, like even every now and then I'll still think of him, because he was like my little brother and stuff. And every now and then he was actually like hopping onto my Fortnite account and buying all these emotes and skins and stuff. And now that he's no longer a part of my life and stuff, I still have something of his, which is like the skins and stuff from Fortnite and stuff.
That's
and every
sweet.
now I'm just like, I'll think once in a blue moon, I was like, oh, I wonder how Felitos is doing and stuff. And so crazy, like hopefully he's doing good and stuff. And but that's the essential how I started and stuff. And then it just led on to like twice a week, streaming 3 times a week and stuff. And then I had to cut back down to 2, maybe sometimes 1. But it's just how life happens sometimes, where like you can't control everything, and like you have to make sure you balance everything with your life balance and content created life. And yeah, it's just it's been a journey for sure since 2020.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that's the thing that we've kind of found about the balance as well. When like content creation, like it changes all the time, like how much you can do, how little you can do, where your priorities lie. And so it's very interesting to hear how you kind of found that balance and found your groove with it.
And it's not overnight. A lot of times people they have a set schedule, and sometimes that set schedule may end up being broken. Sometimes life just happens, and you just like, hey, I need to make up for this another time of the week. Say for example, this past weekend, just to use as an example, normally I do stream on Friday nights. I have to do a little plug here, but Friday nights at 7:30 p.m. But what I do on Friday nights is I'll chat up for a little bit and I'll play some Fortnite. Normally, because Fortnite is free, people have access to it on many different platforms, PC, consoles, and stuff. And so I'll have people come on over and to play and stuff, and that's my set schedule. So sometimes I'll have like a maybe spontaneous stream on a Saturday and Sunday. This past weekend it was supposed to be an all weekend thing, but on that Friday night we did like maybe like about an hour and a half of just chatting, just talking about like my TwitchCon recap adventures and stuff, right? And then all of a sudden something came over me where it was like my anxiety kicked in, or like something like triggered it where I had a mini panic attack on the air.
Gosh.
And so trying to wing it and trying to play cool while I'm on, live on the air, trying to play it cool, trying to play face like, hey, like nothing's going on. But literally the chat, they knew something was wrong. They're just like, you okay? Or like you're mumbling your words, and like you're kind of freaking out a little bit because you're kind of tipping over the chair. Are you okay? And I'm just like, you know what, guys, like I feel like jumping out of this chair and just bolting out of this door, like not even like hitting the going offline. I just want to go, like for whatever. Yeah, it just something came over me, and it just turned out that like I was burnt out from all these adventures and stuff, traveling and stuff, and coming back straight from traveling back to work and being a dad mode and stuff. And it's just all these things, like my body just basically saying, hey, you know what? We're going to shut down. It's straight up like, you need to rest. And so,
like, bro, if you won't stop, I'll make you.
I'll stop
and
you.
it sure did, dude.
Gosh,
Somehow we stretched it for another hour, and I called it a night. And then that Saturday, I was supposed to stream too, but I ended up canceling it due to the fact that, you know what? My sister had invited me over because she heard what had happened and stuff. And she's like, hey, let me take you out. We'll go to this October festival thing. And then we'll just try to enjoy the rest of the night and just be, try not to think about streaming too much and stuff. And that really helped break that routine of like, that set schedule that was supposed to be happening. And then the next day following on Sunday, I was right back where it normally was and recapping, telling people like, all right, let's break down this video of how Friday's stream went, where I basically had a mini panic attack. Yeah. And so when your body's trying to tell you some shit, like literally listen to it, because you just never know what's going to happen on the air, especially because I didn't want it to give it to that point where like I did actually jump out of this chair and bolted out, because it could have been way worse of people talking like, oh, we need to call somebody for help or something, or something. It wasn't really necessarily kind of crazy, but like ultimately, there is such a thing of like, you just never know as a content creator how, like if you have a set schedule thing, you just never know what life's gonna throw at you, and you might have to break that.
Yeah.
I 100% agree with that. It's tough.
Dude, believe you me, dude.
There are no other words.
No, because like, say when you're doing a podcast and stuff, you're allowed to like, with the power of editing, like cut, splice, all this stuff. But when you're live on the air, it's a whole different ball game. So I give props to all these like talk show hosts, late night podcasts, whether they do. Like it's cool that they know how to hold it down. But it was great to reflect on that stuff too. To be like, hey, you know what? These things do actually happen, and I'm not fucking perfect, and this is just the human side of me that, hey, this mental health thing is really important too, and we should talk about that. And so it's great that those that tune in for that just chatting portion, that are wanting to listen and maybe reflect on someone else or inspire somebody else to do the same.
Yeah, I love that. Being able to turn that negative experience into something that you and your community can learn from and grow from.
Oh, definitely.
And I love that you kind of create that space for you and your community to feel comfortable and like safe about being open. I mean, the fact that your community kind of reflecting back to you, like trying to comfort you and ease you out of that anxiety, is a testimony of who you are as a person and a creator in itself.
Oh, for sure.
And they helped you in that space. Like, I'm sure you've helped so many other people.
Yeah,
and that's kind of what being a content creator is all about.
Yeah, seriously, like it doesn't cost me a penny to like help anybody out that needs someone to talk to or lend an ear, or maybe a shoulder to cry on. And people do know me as a streamer, like, chatting it up or playing for it and stuff, right? But at the end of the day, I do advocate for people that like, hey, especially for dudes, like we have that stigma of like having to be machismo, especially in the Latino culture, like us, like we're having to be machismo, or like, oh, like crying is for, corny people. Is just like, nah, dude, like nowadays it's like, it's we embrace it and stuff, and we're allowed to actually express ourselves for who we are and what we're going through mentally and stuff. And so these type of things, is really important that like, hey, if you're a part of this community, this is what you can expect of like how embracive that part of one's mindset is, of like being a part of this. Like, hey, we can like do the shits and giggles all we want and stuff like that, but we will have these serious moments, and it's my job that afterwards to turn into a complete 180 and bounce back into something positive after that. So it's really cool that I got to embrace that shit.
Awesome.
Has there ever been a moment where you like weren't able to bounce back?
To bounce back, I want to say yes. There was probably in 2022. I had some technical issues with my internet. It was coincidentally around my birthday stream on that June of 2022, and it wasn't anything that happened on the stream. It's what happened outside of the stream, because I was still living with my ex at the time, a couple months already into our renewed lease, but we had already just broken up a month after signing that new lease. And so there were a lot of like pettiness things that were happening, and like a lot of like just like buffoonery stuff that were happening inside the household. We had to sleep in different rooms and stuff. It was just a bunch of crazy stuff. But purposefully, I ended up figuring out that she was cutting on and off the internet on that special day of mine and stuff. And it wasn't until like on that same month, or the month prior, I had installed like, Ring cameras and stuff like that in the household because I wouldn't want her, like, there was one moment where like, maybe I was gone for a weekend off for a family trip or something with my family. And she had she actually ended up coming into the room without my permission and stuff, and like started looking for some things and stuff and trying to access my iPad passwords and stuff. And it's just like, this was pretty toxic stuff.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Right. So that specific day of my birthday and stuff, like I had basically a table set up for like making margaritas and stuff. We had a whole 12-hour stream planned out. Dude, we didn't even last 2 hours before we started having those tech issues of like the power or the internet going on and off. And I figured maybe the first few times, maybe the first few times I was like, okay, maybe like probably the third or fourth time, I'm just like, something's off. Like it's turning off every like 5 or 6 minutes. I'm
like,
just like, something's
it's coming
going on.
back on and cutting off like
That
simultaneously,
is
like
so
multiple
sad.
times.
Yeah.
There's no way.
Exactly. I was just like, this kind of, I don't know about this. And so I went down for sure, review some of the tapes, and it just ended up being that. And having to have people that have literally, I had the set schedule, you know what I mean? Like, hey, we're going to be here for 12 hours and we're going to have a great time. For those of you that have canceled your plans, whether you've taken the day off of work or you found a babysitter, whatever it is, right? Just to have some time to play or like watch my stream and stuff. And to have that happen, it's just like having to cancel, but all these people that came through, it's just like, it really is disheartening because I don't do it just for myself. I do it for other people that don't have a place to belong to and stuff. And like that being out of my hands, it really sucked. And so that was definitely something where, never again. If I have someone give access to my internet with that kind of stuff, it's crazy.
That I
That's
can't even
crazy.
fathom.
Yeah, that is so wild.
We're too stunned to speak.
I know. Who does that?
Exactly. Like, what kind of person?
That's vindictive. That's evil.
That is-
Yeah.
It's very, very much,
evil.
dude. Yeah, it's a very just conniving, dude. Honestly, it was just disrespectful too. Yeah, thank you. Devious as fuck. Yeah, definitely, dude. Here we are, though. We're
She
still.
deserves to go to the stocks.
The stocks
I'm
for
up.
that one. Yeah.
She broke. I'm up.
She broke. You're up. That's wild.
crazy.
That's wild. Yeah.
Yeah, that sucks because I know, like, even if it's not an event, I know that like it probably feels kind of, it weighs on you a little bit where you like have to cancel a stream even if you mentally have to or whatever. It's still like, oh, people were expecting me and waiting on me, and I mean everyone's usually understanding regardless, but it's still like is on your head as a creator, like, well, now that's me not being consistent. That's not me, sticking to what I'm supposed to be doing.
Yeah, you just feel defeat at the end of the day, though. Too, it sucks mentally too. You like drain yourself and beat yourself up when sometimes it's just out of your hands.
Yeah, absolutely. That's wild.
Yeah. What a story. That was a good story.
Yeah, thank you.
I got plenty more. Not even just involving my dude. When I spill tea, I'm good with the stuff.
Also, I forgot to say this in the beginning, but if there's something that you're not comfortable talking about, just let us know. And if there's something that you say, and if you want to tell us the tea, and then you're like, actually, can you cut that out? We can do that also. So just let us know.
No topic is off topic. You got me.
Love it.
Anything and everything. You just let me know if it's too much. Like,
what is your deepest, darkest secret?
Tell us right now.
I don't have a foot fetish. There you go. People think that I do, but I don't.
I think that means he does.
No, I don't.
Oh, why'd you bring that up?
Only because I can't escape the accusations.
The accusations.
See, there you go.
There we go. I got you.
There you go.
Oh my gosh, that is hilarious.
And also, you guys have me till whenever, so you're not restricted with timing too. So like,
cool.
Beautiful, because we'll be here for hours. No,
Yay! I do have to go to sleep at some point, but
unacceptable, Maggie.
Until then, I'm good to go.
No, honestly, if you have like certain topics or whatever, whether it's like mental health or anything that bypassed or even outside of streaming, dude, let me know. I got you. Don't worry, that's cool.
Yeah,
awesome. Cool. All right, well, we'll get into some of our set questions. We've talked a little bit about your streaming journey, but overall, like, where would you say you're at in your life right now? Like, in the good parts, the bad parts. We talk a lot about the hero's journey. Do you know what that is?
Please do tell.
Okay, Maggie, would you like to give a little recap?
Yes. So the hero's journey is kind of a literary device that is used to kind of just describe the plot of a lot of like movies, TV shows, books, any kind of media that has a
Sure.
protagonist. So
Okay.
you start in the hero's ordinary world, like they're content where they are, but something's missing in their life. And then they get the call to action. Something is provoking them to change the way they are, enter a new world, but they are hesitant to react at first. They refuse the call to action. And then there is a catalyst, somebody, a mentor, a friend, somebody comes to them, something happens in their life where they're like, okay, I can't refuse this call anymore. I have to cross the threshold from my ordinary world and enter this new world. So they cross over the threshold and they enter this new world, and they have to learn everything that there is, have to completely change their mindset. They figure out who their allies are, who their enemies are, what tests they go through, what trials are going to show up, and they're trying to use their old world knowledge to kind of navigate this new world. But as they will figure out, that's not going to work for long. They have to change themselves in some way. So they reach the bottom of the circle, which is called the dark night of the soul, or rock bottom for them. There is absolutely no way forward. They have been hit time and time again. They're on the ground. They're not standing up. And the only way forward is to adapt and change and accept the new world and become a new person. And so once that happens, they can escape rock bottom and they move on and they reconcile with the new world. They accept the changes that they have to make, and they return back to their old world with a reward, which is the things that they have learned along this journey. And they're able to go back to their ordinary world as a changed person with all the knowledge that they have learned. So it's a cyclical journey. Heroes can go on it time and time and time again. Me and Ari have been on it time and time and time again since this podcast has started. We're always like, where are you in your journey? Oh, I'm accepting the call. I'm at the dark night. I'm at the reward. Yeah.
Only one of us has gone through the circle, though.
Oh.
I made it to the other side one time.
Ari, want you there?
I'm stuck in my darkest night of the soul.
No, get out of there.
I'm trying.
It happens.
You're trying, brother.
The best of us.
Yeah.
But where would you say you kind of are, like, in your life or in this chapter of your life right now?
In this chapter of my life, honestly, where I'm at right now is at peace, mentally wise too. I want to say, referring back to 2022, a lot of dark times were around that year specifically. Again, just breaking up with my ex at the time, but still living with her. Kids, my child's mother. We are going neck and neck of just situations with just outside of my daughter's just living conditions and stuff. My work just not being where I am happy and stuff with financially wise, and then my family in general, it just wasn't it was a very hostile environment with my family at the time. And so it just dwelled up to all these emotions and stuff. And I was seeing somebody at the time, like a spring fling, and that ended up being something crazy that I won't really go into detail, because that was kind of one of the things that kind of led to this little dark path that in May of 2022, I literally was at a peak of either ending my life in that moment itself, because when I went over to a family trip to Oregon, we went over to this cabin in the woods and up in the mountains and stuff. Once we got there, we literally had to drive at 40 minutes away just to get some signal on our phones. So there was a day, the night prior to my family leaving for a trip down to the town or something. I was sitting outside around 3:00 in the morning. It was pouring rain. It was dark and stuff. I was just done. I was mentally drained. I was done. All these things that are happening to me. I was like, you know what? I can't do this anymore. And so I had literally methodically planned out hey, once everyone leaves, once my family and my whole family had left the cabin and stuff, I'm just going to stay here and just end it all and stuff. And so when everyone had left on that morning, I was literally sitting outside and had found an axe and a pile of wood where, you chop wood into throwing into the logs, into the fire pit and stuff, and inside the household. I was literally, you know what, this is probably it. What I'm going to probably just do is take a swing a couple times. And if that's whatever it takes, that's it for me. But what I did the opposite was I actually placed a block of wood and started swinging on it. And it gave me that little urge of sensation, oh, you know what, maybe this is actually helping. Let me go ahead and actually keep swinging and stuff, and keep chopping some wood and stuff. And I started having this anger in myself. I was angry more at myself. Why would I contemplate on this kind of stuff? I was thinking about my daughter, thinking about my family and stuff and then prior to people had to have passed of doing sort of things like this, where they have taken their own lives. I wasn't intentionally trying to do this specifically for the content or something, but it's more for me. I had placed my phone away from me, and I was just like chopping wood. I was like, whatever happens in this video. I'm just like chopping wood, I'm shedding tears, and it was very therapeutic, because like I'm known as what I'm, how I said earlier in the beginning of the podcast, like I'm always camera ready and stuff, but this time I wasn't. I was just like, you know what, like I'm naturally feeling myself, all like the depression, the anxiety of this whole weight off my shoulders. And a couple swings later, like I'm chopping all these like blocks of wood, and then like once I actually see them split up, I'm just like, dude, I'm at peace. Like, what was I even thinking? And from that day forward, like saving that video for a year just to reflect on like how much can change within the year. And so 2023 came around, I was an entirely different person. I was out of that depressive state with my ex. I have made amends with my baby mama. I was more involved in my kids' life. Streaming has been going well. I've made amends with my parents, with my siblings and stuff. And like now into 2024, life is good, dude. Honestly, living the single life, being more involved in my daughter's like activities and stuff. And you know, we watch wrestling every Wednesday night and stuff because that's our father-daughter days and stuff. And it's just really cool, like how much things have changed for the better. Like I've been doing a lot of traveling. I've been making more of the sense of the content of what I love to do. I'm not doing it just to escape. I'm actually doing it because it's my comfort zone, and I want to give the content that I organically put out there for people to react to and stuff. And then also with my family being involved sometimes too, like you'll have Mama Slowpoke coming in for making cameos in the streams and stuff. My sister Burrs, and like my dad's always asking me like, oh, how'd your stream go? How many people tuned in? Or like, did you have a good stream? Like actually caring and stuff. It's so cool having them more involved. And like, as of this moment right now, the recording, my daughter doesn't know that I do this sort of like content creating stuff, because with the whole world of the internet, like it's just crazy. Like, you know, not having her on TikTok or not having her on YouTube, like just enjoying her adolescence, you know, her innocence and stuff. When that time comes, it's gonna be really cool to like be able to embrace that, because she's already asking me questions about like what it takes to be a YouTuber, and like, do you know anybody that is a YouTuber? I'm just over here like, yeah, I think I know a guy. I got you. So it's so cool how, yeah, that whole heroes of just like this whole like just what a year or two difference of that it does actually make. And how I do advocate very much to be like, hey, just stay the course. And honestly, things do get better. It might not be at that moment, a couple hours, days, months, years, but you just stay the course, and you just never know. Like life at the end of that dark tunnel, there is light on there. That's pretty cool. Yeah. So I'm super glad to be here still.
Oh, we are too. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah, absolutely. It's very important that it's real shit, dude. Like honestly, it's just...
yeah, for sure. Yeah,
absolutely.
That's the most important thing, is that you could be in that dark night for what feels like forever and ever, but there is an end to it. There is always an end to it, and you just have to get to that light at the end.
Yeah, and
you'll get to the reward. Yeah,
absolutely. And it's a lot of times it isn't just by yourself. You have that inner circle that's helping you out, whether it's just that one person. That one person will make a difference for sure, for the better.
For sure. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think it's well, thank you for sharing, but yeah, I think it's important that, you know, we do share these things and we are as transparent, because like there are definitely other people that are going through the exact same thing and nobody's talking about it. You know, and no one's sharing their experiences, and there's nothing for them to connect to or feel hope on, because people always just say it gets better, but no one just, you know, when you're in that moment, it's like, okay, it gets better, sure. Like that's not helpful. That's not, you know, talking about these things is how we feel more seen and heard, and we can connect with other people, and that's what helps us out of our dark night, even if we don't have anybody physically with us.
Yeah, it is a lot of the actions that does take it does play a role when actions are being seen, and you know, taking a step further into that light. Where I'll use these as an example too, where initially like the whole mental health aspect of like bringing people over to be open, especially on the streams too, because like it's already hard enough for the individual like myself opening to those that are watching and stuff like that, and not saying that I'm afraid of being myself or showing, expressing that type of my side of very sentimental and like about my emotions and stuff like that. I'm very vulnerable. It's totally fine with me, which it does open up the door for a lot of people too to be vulnerable. Like I've had certain scenarios or of people that have opened up to being transgender, that have opened up to be I don't know, just having military PTSD, or like sharing that the death of a mother or father due to COVID or something. It's like all these things that like giving that window of opportunity for people to actually be themselves too as well, and not be judged at all. Like especially for me, because like growing up, dude, I was picked on, dude. I was bullied and stuff, and to having this sort of platform, dude, to be like that advocate for somebody that's being bullied or being picked on and stuff like that. No, dude, like your acceptance over here, dude. Like I don't care if you're transgender, whatever ethnicity, gender, race. I love you all the same, dude. Like it's very welcoming and stuff. So that right there of being 100% grounded and stuff is why I still continue doing this stuff and being an advocate for that mental health aspect, though.
Yeah, I commend you for that, for sure. Being like kind of in charge of a space like that has got to be a lot of pressure on you, but I know it's very fulfilling to be able to connect with people and share your experiences with them and let them know that like, hey, I'm here for you. All these people are here to support you through whatever you're going through, and we all understand it.
Yeah, dude.
That
and
is
like
very cool. Yeah.
What people don't see is, and I don't really like, I don't do this to brag, I don't do this to show off or whatever, but like the DMs that I get, either it could be a variation of things where like I'll send memes or gifs or voice memos or even videos of like checking on people, how they're doing, or like wondering like, hey, like last week you did say that you were having some trouble, are you still in that same mental health aspect, or like how are you doing right now, or like you want to talk, we could schedule a conversation or stuff, we can text and stuff, we can FaceTime. There's always these different things that like you can make someone like feel a lot better, or like I'm not expecting that to, you know, reciprocate in return of like, you know, that same ordeal, but like I'm the one that actually is going out and above and beyond that. I feel like not a whole lot of people that are in this community that of streaming or networking and stuff that does go above and beyond that. It's just like, hey, you know what, you tune in, we're here at this specific moment in time, and then that's it. Then, you know, you can just catch me on the next one or whatever. No. Yeah. It's, you see me on the screen and off screen, I'm the same person, dude. So it's really cool that like people do be opening up on the DMs and stuff. It's really I'm very proud of that.
Yeah, that's really, really cool. I love that.
Yeah, thanks.
I love that you also mentioned that you're the same person on and off screen, because yes, that's true, but also that speaks to your authenticity, and I think a lot of people struggle with that, is not knowing like who their true self is, or you know, who are the people that they should be surrounding themselves with, and a lot of people struggle and have trouble finding that kind of thing, and sometimes it's hard to be yourself on a camera. Like you get in your head, even just recording this, like this isn't even posted yet. And I always think about like, how are people gonna look at me when they post this on YouTube? Like, like I always, like, even when I first met you and some other online friends, I was like, are they gonna think I'm different? Like, than I normally am on stream? Like, what are they gonna say?
Well, see, if you're trying to like portray like, I guess like trying to like narrow it down where like you're wanting to replicate like how you are on screen, off screen, then you're kind of doing a disservice for yourself, because we basically go over to see you and stuff like that for being just you and stuff. And like, yeah, like and when we met for the first time, we were a little under the influence and stuff, but it was cool because like we were like, you know, dancing and stuff and having a good time and vibing and stuff. But it's not going to change the fact that like you're still one cool individual, you know what I mean? And meeting Maggie too as well. It's not going to change the fact that like I'm gonna see you guys differently and stuff. But now if you started like a fool, then it'd be a different story. But that wasn't the case at that time and stuff. And so it's cool that like if you do get a chance to meet your certain individuals in your inner circle or like in your community and stuff, it's really great. But referring back to like what was it, like being nervous or like even like trying to think like be your own like self-sabotaging, right?
Yeah.
There's other instances where like sometimes it's hard to say no to people that are in your inner circle and are ultimately like not being good influences to you. Sometimes it's really kind of hard to separate from those individuals too, because like you'll have I've had certain individuals who would come on by to check up on me when I'm down. So for example, like I've had maybe it's a tech issue for my stream, and then this individual would come on by and be like, oh, well, maybe you should have upgraded, or why haven't you done this already? It's just like, bro, like you could have used this moment to be like, hey, like sorry this happened to you, do you think there's something that I can help you with or something? Or maybe if you want to talk or something, we could just shoot the shits and have a good time out there. But no, just like when you're kicking me when I'm down, it's not what I need. And so like, there are certain instances where you gotta have you gotta kick them out of your lives, because they're not gonna do you justice if they're just gonna come on by and swing at you when you're down and stuff. It's no need for that, dude. It's already hard enough outside of in the life,
absolutely, like, in real life, but you know, I don't need to be doing it in my community also.
Right.
Do I need this virtually? I don't think so.
No. Yeah.
No, and I mean, Slowpoke and I have talked about this before too, because Slowpoke used to have a podcast that he has not attended to in a very long time. That is
put a little
available
asterisk
on
in
YouTube.
You can put a little asterisk on there because I know it's been almost a year since I've gotten a podcast or finished season 4, and I was at that. I guess winding into the 4th season, I was kind of using that as a coping mechanism of like using it as an escape, and it's just not fair. It wasn't fair that I wasn't giving 110% at like granted the few people that I had for season 4 like yourself and stuff, I was like, you know what, that's cool and everything, but it was gonna do a disservice, and I didn't want to continue on and half-ass it for anybody. And so, you know what, I'd rather take that year off, which we're winding down up into the year now, and maybe hopefully we can come back into back in the swing of things, because
back swinging.
I've been doing busy things with streaming and stuff, and also vlogging, trying to test the waters from the 2009 stuff, and trying to put myself out there and vlogging.
Well, don't worry, guys, we'll link his YouTube down below.
We will.
Check out his vlog and his podcast.
Can I do a little side note of my YouTube channel real quick? Because I want to say, I think we're at like, for whatever reason, we're at 1,900 subscribers on the channel.
What?
I kid you not.
For whatever reason.
No. But here's the thing. I've uploaded videos for a couple years now and stuff. Maybe the highest one I've gotten for like an actual like a video would probably be like 150 views or something like that, higher. But YouTube Shorts has been a true blessing in disguise, where I upload a 10-15 second clip and it's gotten like hundreds of thousands of views and stuff.
Oh wow. I've heard a lot of good things about it, actually.
Right. So the most random YouTube video that I put out, and it didn't involve any of my content. It was just a reaction that I had about wrestling. Like, this dude was getting lit on fire. It was getting lit on fire, and that was at 800,000 views, and that video clip itself garnered all those subscribers and stuff right there. So like, you just never know what you put out there as content.
You gotta do some more YouTube wrestling YouTube videos.
Light more people on fire.
Like it. Yeah. That's what I'm hearing. Yeah.
We do not condone lighting people on fire.
Guys, don't do it. It's not nice.
Please.
No arson. Got it.
No arson.
No, but that's really freaking sick. Especially like, because the content is spotty over there, but what content is on there is really good. And then if you are putting up the YouTube Shorts or whatever they're called, everything's different. It's reels, shorts, clips,
Yeah. And it's just like any content that you put out there, you make it out there. Any content that you think that it may do good or may not, if you're very hesitant, just put it out there. You just never know what audience you can attract and stuff. And so I honestly wasn't expecting 1,900 subscribers and stuff over the span of a month or two, and just like seeing that video like accumulate views and stuff, it just wasn't something that I had. It was just a reaction and put it out there, and that was it. And so you never know what other video clips you might end up putting out there, and just be bold enough to do it, because in this streaming content reader life, no one's gonna hold your hand. Honestly, there's no sheer luck of the lottery. Sometimes we're just like, hey, maybe one in like a million chances of like actually striking big in a popular clip or something, but you just never know.
Seriously. I always tell people, because like I've had a few people come to me for like streaming advice, and I'm like, well, the first and foremost thing I can tell you is that you are not going to be rich and famous after the first week of streaming or any content creation whatsoever. A lot of content creation, at least for the first while, unless you get lucky and randomly go viral,
strike gold,
exactly, then it's a lot of work and no pay. It's you putting in your time, your effort, building a community with, you get reward. Obviously, we get the satisfaction, the joy, the people that we connect with, but like, on a sustainable financial level, it's a lot of work and no pay.
It's the keyword investment.
Exactly.
Like, people do not, a lot of times they're scared of that word investment. And truthfully, there are a handful of people that want to get handed these opportunities, or like they want to like maybe leech off of someone and stuff, and that's just never okay. That's just that's a recipe for disaster. And in these almost 4 years of like, or I'll technically say 4 years now, like I'll see a couple things or two of like just like that wanting to leech off of somebody, and it's 9 times out of 10 it's just not going to work out. They're going to catch on what you're doing, and they'll see for who you are, and they'll probably call you out or put you on blast. So just heed my warning on that.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right. Well, okay. So you're in your peace era right now.
I love it.
My Zen era. Absolutely.
Your Zen era.
Zen era.
My
But
wusa.
you're waiting. You're
Wusa.
you're waiting for your next adventure. You're waiting for that thing to come around that sweeps you off your feet and is just carrying you away in the wind. How would you define or describe adventure in your own words? Like, when I say adventure, what does that mean to you?
So adventure to me, when say you have a destination you're going to go to, you already know where you're going to go to, but it's the journey of how you're going to get to it is the most important thing. Say, for example, my next goal for 2025 is to move closer to my daughter. Now, a lot of people that don't know this, I live back in 2014 when I got into her life when she was 4 years old. I was living in Southern California. She was living in Northern California. I would basically have to travel once a month, fly out from Southern California to Northern California, and I only see her, granted, maybe once or twice out of that month. And that was that for like the first year and a half. And so right when the pandemic happened, that's when I moved over here to San Francisco, like here in the San Francisco Bay Area. And she lives about an hour and a half away from here, right? And the traffic is just brutal sometimes. And like, that hour and a half could have been like, man, I could have been doing this or whatever. Like if I would have lived closer, for sure, that would have been great, awesome. And so behind the scenes, I have been looking at apartments, been trying to see if I can get a better paying job out there. So instead of having it being that hour and a half of a travel, it could be literally like just 5 or 10 minutes tops. And then perhaps seeing her more often and stuff, and having her spend the night more often and stuff. Along with that too, it is very important for me to make the next step in, being involved in my child's life even more, because she's already 10, dude. And 10-year-olds, dude, they're a handful for sure. Yeah, no, she's a bundle of joy, dude. Like we have such wonderful moments and stuff, and like how very blessed I am to be a father. It's one thing that I've been incorporated very much in my life, and I've shared this plenty of times on stream too. Like honestly, even outside of my life, like I'll post stuff on Instagram stories and stuff. And if you're a part of my close friends, which Maggie, I'll actually add you on there too as well. But it's so cool that I get to be myself, especially being a father, and like people that probably don't have their father figure in their lives, or like they're just getting into their 20s or 30s, that like they're having their father barely coming into their lives. They love seeing that, or they either wish that, oh man, I wish my dad was like that with my grandchildren or my kids or whatever. And it's so cool to be more involved in that. And so that's my journey for next year. And we did talk about like traveling and stuff for next year. Specifically next year, it is just going to be all about like sacrificing those trips, maybe go at least maybe 1 or 2 trips, please. Next year, but there is that, but there is that grind of, like, if I'm not gonna be traveling, bring you to the gym. If we're not gonna be just doing all this kind of stuff, let's save somewhere where we can. Let's start cooking more at home, dieting and stuff, and start exercising more and stuff, because I want to be able to move around when I'm in my 40s and in my 50s and stuff, and just be more active, especially when my kids are growing up and stuff. I want to be able to take her out to like theme parks and stuff, or like being able to travel with her too as well. So I want to be 110% as I grow older and stuff with her and stuff. And along with that journey too, I wouldn't say I've been saying this from time to time about like relationship wise, like I've already accepted that like I was just going to be single for the rest of my life. Like I've tried the dating stuff after a while, because I've been single for about 3 years, and I've tried going back to the dating pool and stuff, but it's just hard trying to balance everything up. And like, I don't want to be selfish with my time or waste someone else's time. But maybe 2025 might be different. Maybe I could squeeze that in there somehow. But I mean, I'm not holding my breath, but it's just like something that like almost like on the side note of me, that, what, I wish that something would happen of that sort. But if that's not the case, then my main focus is, to move out of here and be close to my daughter.
I love that. Yeah.
Dang. Love that. And I like that you're saying the adventure is part of the journey to get to that destination, and that's kind of like where you are right now. You're on the journey. You're doing the research, trying to find the job. You're getting there. You're getting into.
And it's always all these little side quests to get to
Yeah.
the main
Always little
destination.
side quests. Yeah.
Quest,
Love
that,
little
that.
side quests.
That's us.
Yeah.
You know us so well.
Yeah, certified yappers.
What's it called? A few weeks ago when we were planning on trying to get together with Slowpoke, he like sent me a picture and he was listening to us in the car and he was like, "I'm doing my research."
Oh my god! Thank you.
Yes.
No, and I enjoy listening, especially at work, because it's just like at work it'd be dreadful. Any workplace and stuff. I'm just over here. Well, I have my earbuds on. Don't worry. Like nobody's just like, who are these two?
No,
Who
but
is
that's
too
so
yapping to
cool.
No, it's cool because like
I feel so
it gives me.
special.
No, it gives me like some joy. Like I'm just like, okay, being very entertained and stuff, and like maybe some things I might not even know about, or like maybe some topics that like I'm unbeknownst to my knowledge and stuff, but I'm still like listening and stuff because like the way you guys two vibe and stuff, I'm just like, okay, I'm in good hands. My ears are in good hands.
Oh my gosh, that's so sweet.
Maggie, you hear that?
I'm blushing.
Hey.
Keep going.
Woosah, on 3. 1, 2, 3.
No, but that is so nice to hear, and I'm glad that we can bring a little bit of joy to your day and your
absolutely.
ears
Just
while
goes to
you're
show you guys are on a
at
roll.
boring work.
Oh,
You're on a good roll, dude. Keep it
thank
up,
you.
Well, what would you say? So you're getting ready to, you're making plans and steps and research to kind of make this big change into your life.
Yeah.
But you know, and I'm assuming that's gonna lead you to living your best life. You're gonna be closer to your daughter, hopefully getting more money and working at a job that you actually enjoy more and don't fall asleep at meetings at.
Don't tell me out of that. I am notorious
Hey.
in sleeping meetings. Dude, I'll be like this. I don't know if you guys can get down the footage, but I'm just like the first. I'm notorious the first person to fall asleep. So I'm like dozing my eyes, and you have people kicking my
Oh my
chair. I'm
gosh,
like,
I
oh
do
my
that.
yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Please
like
let me
nodding.
out.
Dude,
Dozing off, yeah.
I've constructed so many like positions and stuff, like with my hands behind my head and stuff like that, or with my feet
Oh,
up on a
no.
chair. Yeah,
The worst is no position keeps you awake.
No,
Everything
literally.
is- it
It
like gets
doesn't help.
worse, and you just fall asleep in every position.
Yeah, literally.
It's until I
Yeah.
get called. That's when like, okay, I'm up.
Yeah.
Are
used to
you
be-
wake up? Oh shit.
I'm
That
sorry.
used to be me when I was taking like
Yeah.
standardized testing at school. I
Oh,
was
that's so
like,
bad.
oh my god,
I could not
it's
stay
dead
awake,
silent in the room. They used to give us like peppermints because I don't know why I quoted
Oh.
peppermints, but they used to give us
Peppermints. Peppermints.
No, peppermints.
It's
drugs, no.
regular peppermints.
Is that code name
It's
for a
just
drug?
regular.
Yeah.
It is peppermints, yeah.
They give us peppermints because it's supposed to like help you focus, you know, clear your mind. Like the mint is supposed to be good for your clarity.
Sure.
And I would literally like ask the teacher, I'm like, can I have a couple of these because it will keep me
Keep me
awake.
awake. Yeah.
I'm like, I am
Hey.
literally gonna pass out right now.
Mhm.
Like, you made me throw away my coffee. Like now I have to sit here for hours
Right.
upon hours waiting for other people to finish. I've been done.
Wait, it made you throw
Like-
your coffee away? What the heck?
Yeah, you can't eat or drink during standardized
During the
testing.
test,
Man.
it's bad. You get like
Yeah.
one bottle of water. Yeah.
Yeah, and they give it to you so that you can't write sheets on the inside.
Yeah.
You can't bring an at-home bottle. They have to give it to
It's
you.
crazy. Yeah.
Yeah,
Interesting.
it's so
Mhm.
horrible.
See, as a
Anyway.
college dropout would have known.
Yeah, the tests are like, it's
Mhm.
crazy. But anyways,
Yes.
I was gonna ask you, what would you
Sure.
say is the importance of people living their best lives, or leading up to living their best lives?
Easily breaking your routine. Breaking your routine is a crucial part of living up your best life. I have encountered so many times where like I feel like I'm just stuck in this circle, the cycle of repetitiveness of like work and then doing whatever, just like ABC, whatever. Like there is ABC in that little scheduling of repetitiveness, but what about 1, 2, and 3 over there? Let me just go ahead and see what's out there and like just little side
Mhm.
quests again, reverting to that because
Yeah.
ultimately the say for example on Tuesdays Cinemark has $5 tickets and stuff all day long. What I would like to do, say for example tomorrow after this for after work, I'm gonna catch maybe a late night showing and stuff and just break in that routine because I'd rather just not come after work back home and just maybe shower, eat, and then just like chill for the rest of the night. I'd rather, you know what, I can do all that afterwards, after the movie theaters, probably after, you know, come back home, shower, and then dip to the theaters and stuff and give out
Mhm.
maybe a thumb or, you know, a pinky to get some popcorn and a soda and, you know, then
Yeah.
come back, hopefully come back and get back all that together. But dude, it's just really important. Even if planning a vacation, say for TwitchCon, for example, when the tickets got announced or like the location and the dates we got set back in probably like May or April or May, around that time, dude, I've already set my plans. I was like, hey, I'm gonna take at least 4 days off. Let's grab an Airbnb spot. Let's get the plane ticket ready to go and stuff. It just even that right there is breaking your routine, because like you have that mindset goal of like, you know what, if I want to get through all of these couple months and stuff and save as much as I can to have that epic weekend moment, which again, or to even put this into retrospect of that specific trip itself, it was just perfect. Everything was perfect, dude.
I love
the
it.
transportation, the funds, not having to stress about money, not having to stress about like getting up and stuff like that, because I had everything all planned out from even making time for my brother. Like my brother and I, we as we're older now, we hardly ever bond and stuff, and so he has his own life in LA and I have my own life here in San Francisco, and like I've tried to dip my toes into like, you know what, getting into breaking that routine as well of like not having minimal content. Let me go ahead and actually venture out, take the days off, like an extra day or two to go see him, and like we actually made 2 days matter. Like that right there was a wholesome moment of like even getting him in a vlog of mine and stuff like that as of recently, to like coming out of his shell of like, you know, being on camera, because he's camera shy for sure. Doing that and then traveling from LA to San Diego on a train. Like I never planned that out at all. It was just like, okay, let's take a train for the first time. Screw it. Let's do a 3-hour trip.
For the first time?
Yeah, for the first time ever, dude. Like
you've never
train
taken
ride. I've
How
never taken
common
train.
are trains down there?
They're
over there?
No, they're common for sure, but it's just like traveling wise, you take flights, Ubers and stuff like that. But never had it occur to me, you know what, let's take a train. And so I did just that. And yeah, was it a 3-hour trip? Sure, like it could have minimized it to an hour and a half. Probably
must have been nice.
It was beautiful seeing the beaches out there, and like just, you know, having that moment to myself of like collecting my thoughts and like just planning out what's little things that I forgot to do for the weekend and stuff. And those little things, they do matter a lot when breaking your routine. So even if it's not taking a trip, going to switch up to a movie theater to go watch, or like maybe going buying an ice cream, something different, reading a book out in the park at like 6 o'clock in the evening, laying a blanket down. Maybe you brought some food with you, just sit down, lay there and just read. Maybe not even read, maybe you're just flipping on your phone and stuff. Just little things like that.
Switching up those things.
Switching it up. It does a big difference. So yes, the living your best life key is breaking that routine.
I love that.
Awesome. Yeah.
I like, even if you, like you said, you like mentioned like going to the theater and see a movie, even if you go to like a different theater, like even something as simple as that can like break up your normality. I think I'm pretty, like they say, don't quote me on this because I'm not a scientist, but I've seen this online. They say that like when you do your normal mundane tasks on your, hold on, I'm a lefty, on your non-dominant hand, it's supposed to help your brain like grow, because you have to focus more to do your regular mundane tasks. So like if you're a righty, try using your left hand when you brush your teeth, or when you you know, whatever, or vice versa. Because even something as simple as that could like help flex your brain muscles. It's a muscle that has to be worked, and that could give you more energy, that could help you for the rest of the day. Like even something as simple as that can switch up your routine a little bit.
Right. That's really interesting, because like the other day, normally I drive with like you just hitting the right foot pedal, you know, with my right foot and stuff like that. I was like, you know what, I'm gonna give you a break.
Let me switch it up.
Switch it up a little bit.
And it just brought up a whole conversation to myself, and be like, I wonder if I start opening doors on my left hand now, or it's like little things like that. I'm just like, hey, I wouldn't have thought of that if I didn't break that little routine. Like it's
must be
those
nice
little things
for
that
you
count.
Righties. Things are built for you.
Great. Yeah.
Things are built for you.
Literally.
They roll a red
Maggie.
carpet for you.
Life is
so easy.
Nice.
Feels good.
So good.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. But yeah, I love that, because like we've mentioned it before in the podcast that like part of, you know, living an intentional, part of living your best life is really breaking out of your comfort zone, because it's kind of hard to grow and change as a person if you're stuck in that same routine and that same mindset, because nothing is growing, nothing is challenging you. Nothing is, you know, forcing you to adapt to something else. You know?
Yeah. I want to use a quick example. Like I was speaking about how like my sister ended up taking me over to a October festival just this past weekend. I broke a routine, or like just breaking the comfort zone, where there was a moment where in the dance floor in this festival, they were asking like audience participation and stuff. And they were asking like, hey, like who's willing to grab a partner, like even if you don't know them, just go on there and you know, just
You did it.
Okay, so here's the crazy thing. I saw my sister. I was sitting down. I was like leaning. I was telling my sister, I was like Mers, like her nickname here is Mers. I was like, dude, I actually want to go on the dance floor just to see, like, I want to try it. Like that one girl, you see her in the blue dress? Like, she's by herself, and I'm just like, I want to do it. And she's like, well, go do it. I was like, I don't know. I'm like fidgeting and stuff. And she's like, go do it. All right, fine. I go over there, right? I go to approach her and stuff, and I ask her and stuff like, hey, do you have a partner you want to dance with? Like, I would love to be a partner and stuff. And she's like, oh, I have a friend over there that's going to be like my partner. Thank you, though. And I was like, great. Like, okay, I didn't feel defeated, though.
At least you put yourself out there.
No, that's the thing. I could have been like how Maggie was right now. I was like, okay, thank you for answering. No, but that was like, I didn't walk out being like, because any other person probably would have felt defeated, like, oh, I'm never gonna do that again, and be all like self-pity, and that's like that's dude, like, have that self-confidence boost of like, hey, we tried, it didn't work out, we'll try it next time, it's cool. I came back, dude, I sat down with my sister, and Merge was just like, she rejected you, huh? And I was like, yep. And then I was like, we picked up our beers and cheers, like, that's cool. We'll watch everybody just having a good time. And, yeah, we're just still chilling and stuff. And even if you're by yourself, like, you at least are trying these new things, and like, right, if it is that 9 times out of 10, if it ends up being no, the what's the worst harm they can do is just, you know, they say no. And those little things like that, they better yourself into like not being that, having that self-pity or whatever, or just like sitting down being mopey. Like, you're going to turn that into a positive. That right there alone is a great example of just like, you know, like breaking out of that comfort zone too.
Yeah, for sure.
Absolutely. And I think it's important too, like you said, the worst thing that in that situation in particular, the worst thing that could have happened is she said no. You know what I mean? And it's like, what would happen other than that? And if you feel some type of way about that, like, you know, maybe look a little deeper in yourself. Like, why does it hurt you when someone else says no to you? Or why do you feel so rejected when there is no risk or other consequences? Like, nothing is going to change or happen because this person said no to dancing with you.
Yeah.
You know, like the stakes were low and nothing happened. Wow.
No, not at all, dude. She went to go on, like, I was watching her dance and stuff with her friend. I'm over here with my sister, like having a good time. Like, it's cool. Like, we're all vibing.
But, you know, a lot of people would kind of sit in that mindset, and it really would be like, you know, hurting their ego a little bit, and that rejection would sit with them, and they'd internalize that.
Right.
And, you know, I think a lot of people need to take the opportunity to kind of be like you in that moment and just celebrate afterwards and just be like, you know what, said no, whatever, here's to Oktoberfest. Like,
right?
For real. Definitely, because there will be people that will take that to heart, and either they'll let them beat themselves up, and it's not even the fault of the individual. It's just at that time they just either didn't feel comfortable or feel right, or they just chose that they have something already prepared in hand. I do see where it could totally, depending on the scenario, maybe if the individual was, I don't know, being too odd, or it just wasn't, the vibes weren't there, and it hadn't been rejected. And some people they don't take no for an answer. And honestly, if you really analyze the situation, if you read the room, if that's the case, you know, just take a step back and move on and stuff. It might not even be similar to this conversation and stuff, but I want to use this as an example where not everybody will be on your side, because you might have made a decision where to you it might not be okay, or it might not have been nothing wrong, but to many people it'd be you might want to like reevaluate yourself again, because in this instance there was a topic where on stream we were taking in questions of people how they were doing, or maybe they need some help with something. This individual had came by to my stream, I think this is like 2020 or like late 2022, a lot of things happened in 2022, but this individual had came through, and he's just like, hey, like, recently I lost a friend of mine who didn't want to be friends with me anymore because she just wanted to distance herself from me, and I didn't know why. I don't know what I was doing something wrong, and I kept asking questions like, oh, well, did you give her some space, or like, did you read like some emotions differently and stuff? And he kept saying like, oh, well, I, for one, was kind of having like these attachments of like being in a relationship and stuff, and she didn't, and was giving me mixed signals. And I go, you probably mixed those signals wrong and stuff, man. And so probably maybe, you know, now because things are kind of awkward and stuff, you might want to give her some space. But all the while when he was actually getting some responses from me, he was mentioning how like he was going on and off of the stream. I don't know, something was wrong with the signal or something, but he kept hearing all the negative stuff. And even chat was actually implementing some great suggestions. So like, hey, you might want to give her some space. Maybe later on you guys can like reconnect or you know, maybe some better things are on beyond the horizon after this scenario, right? The next day he messaged me on a DM, this long paragraph essay, and was saying like, you know, like you shouldn't have picked on me. I was trying to be vulnerable, and like you weren't on my side. Chat wasn't on my side. Like I knew, like I gave her enough space, and like if she doesn't want to be my girlfriend or whatever, that's her loss. Blah blah blah. And I'm just before I could even give a response, he already blocked me off of Discord.
Oh
and
my gosh.
My response easily would have been like, dude, watch the VOD, watch the replay. Like all of us are trying to give you some great benefits of like of the doubt. And even like if this was the scenario, the case of like which ended up being where like he was being too weird, and so she just was like, hey, you know what,
probably too much. And she was like, hey,
too
man,
much,
And
so the point was like, hey, like it might not all be what it seems and stuff, and you kind of have to like analyze your like the situation and stuff, and like if that's the thing, separate yourself from that, or like learn from that too as well. Don't just dwell on it, and don't push that negativity towards others because they're not in your favor and stuff. So that's a great example of that for you.
No, absolutely. That is wild. That's like a good example of just people like not wanting to accept, like take accountability for themselves as a human being. Like we all connect to each other, we all change each other, we all affect each other in different ways. And because we are all so completely different, like we literally cannot know what one another is thinking or feeling without literally asking. Right. And you know, that's wild of him to come in your chat and like expect everyone to be like, oh, I'm so sorry, I'm on your side.
Right.
Or like just have that
like,
self-pity of like, oh,
do you
like
want me to be honest with you and be helpful, or do you want me to just like lie and sugarcoat to your face because that's what you're expecting of other people?
Yeah. And I was like, you're not gonna get that from me. And I couldn't even respond back to him. And then like he kind of fell off of Twitch and stuff. And it, hey, best of his future endeavors, I guess. But honestly, like if say myself, if I can know right from wrong and stuff, you probably should take my word for this, because like ultimately, like I try to not sugarcoat anything when it comes to those type of scenarios. Like, hey, you know what, let's be realistic, and hopefully you can move forward from this, because hey, it wasn't looking too good for him after that.
It's definitely all about mindset for sure. And it's very easy to get stuck and kind of sucked in, like even when you're in a good place. Like, in case you guys didn't know, I'm in the darkest night of the soul right now. And right. It's like, you know, I can still be positive, and I can still, you know, stick to the positive mindset that I've been working on. But there are moments where like I catch myself slipping, and it's like it's very easy. It's a very slippery slope to get back in there. It's a lot of work to kind of get up to a elevated mindset.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah. But thankfully, you're still here with us, and I can speak for Baggy, for both of us. It's just like the determination that, or like even acknowledging that, you know what, right now you might not be in the best part of your life, but I mean, moving forward, I mean, it will get better. You know?
I've done a lot of work. I know that you have to still be here, you know, and I'm sure any of you listeners or viewers have probably felt the same way at some point in your lives. It takes a lot of work, and it is exhausting. It can be for sure 100% exhausting. Yeah. But you know, at the end of the day, at the end of the night has to end.
The end of the night, the night has to end. Yeah.
You know what? To add on top of that though, like I am farthest from the religious person, dude. I call myself a seasonal Catholic. I used to be a part-time Catholic, but now I'm a seasonal Catholic. Like I'll think about Jesus every once in a while, whatever, it's fine and stuff. But like I've heard this little phrase, and it kind of like, not to say like I 100% like, you know, believe in this part, but like one of the, I guess the metaphor for this is saying that, or the wording that's saying that if God wakes you up in the morning, you can take care of the rest. And it might not be a God or whatever the hell it is, you know what I mean? Whatever, but if you can get yourself miraculously get up in the morning, you can take care of the rest.
If you can wake up, exactly. If you woke up with another day while some people didn't, or you know, weren't as fortunate, then you are blessed, and you are here for a reason. You know, regardless of what your beliefs are. I mean, I'm not religious. A win is a win. Exactly.
It just goes to show that you're not done yet, and so that's why a lot of people that like have been into these dark times, or like they feel like there's no way out, like definitely there will be a time where you will catch a break. It might not be sometime soon, but like it'll be there. It will be there. And like the people that you're surrounded by, that are rooting for you, dude, they're gonna fucking jump for joy when that time comes and stuff. And so like I hope for you, like very much, like it's very difficult times, but it won't last forever, dude. Bad times don't last.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Absolutely.
It's true. It will end soon. I have faith. But I know we've touched on a lot of, especially because we've gotten to the mental health, conversation. But
Sure.
what would you say is like the best advice or best anything that you've ever received that like changed your life? Like someone told you this and it's like stuck in your head, and everyone else needs to have it stuck in their heads.
I love this question so much, because to me, my sister Mers has been a blessing in disguise in 2023, or like passing 2022 going into 2023. Just letting some sort of stress like get the best of me at times, and like we'll have like these conversations, and after a while it just ended up being like a circle of just like me talking about these negative thoughts, or like nothing's being changed, or some things that like are beyond my control that I'm just like stressing over, right? The little thing that she just told me, dude, she just goes to say, like, there are gonna be certain things that are gonna be out of your hands. When those situations are out of your hands, there's nothing you can do. You have to accept that. And by implementing that and embedding it into my brain, that there are certain scenarios that are going to be out of your hands, I've somewhat have like some weight off my shoulders in that sense, because there are certain times where you can't determine things that you can't control. And when you're not stressing over that, it's a lot easier said than done when it comes to like acknowledging those type of scenarios, because you're not going to have the power to control anybody's emotions. You're not going to have the power to like change different ways of like pays or something, whatever it is that you're stressing over. Like if it's out of your hands, it's out of your hands, and you shouldn't be stressing out about that, period. And so that little thing right there that she said, it turned out to be a huge thing implemented into my brain. It's embedded in there, and it helps me sleep at night. It helps me determine like, hey, you know what, should I stress over this? Because I could change that. If I can't change that, if it's beyond me, well, I can't change it. So then why stress about it whatsoever? If I have the power to change it physically, like for myself, I suffer from body dysmorphia every now and then. Sometimes it kicks in where like I'm looking at myself in the mirror, I'm just like, man, I'm very depressive when it comes to that kind of stuff. I'm just like, I don't feel like I'm good looking and stuff like that. Or like my body and the way because it's my own undoing. I could stop drinking. I could start working out. I could start taking walks at early mornings or late at nights or something like that. I go to the gym. I could eat properly and stuff.
You're
instead
like,
of having...
I know what I can do.
yeah, but sometimes I choose not to. And so though that's in my hands, I can control that. Like if I want to sit here and be mopey about like, oh, like look at poor me, I'm like looking all like I don't know, just not myself, not comfortable with myself. Like I can change that. And if you're like worried about something from work that happened that maybe 6 months from now you're thinking like, oh, am I gonna get fired, or like am I gonna still be here for another couple of years or something like that, you can change that. You know what I mean? And there's some things you can't change or you don't have control over. So definitely, if there are things out of your hands, like let that be, and you'll be stress free. It is easier said than done, but it could it definitely can change your life for the better.
That is really good advice, and it is very hard to do, but once you do it, it's like, whoa.
Yeah,
I'm so free. Yeah.
Ooh, you have that weapon in your arsenal. Oh, the possibilities are endless after that, dude.
Absolutely.
It's so
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I can definitely agree to that. That is really good advice.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, definitely. And then my sister Mers, I'm pretty sure she won't mind this. I've shared this on stream before. She, out of us three siblings, she's the one that's been going to therapy for like the past 2 years. And a lot of what I guess that her therapist has taught her and stuff has reciprocated towards me and stuff, and giving me advice and stuff. And I'm a huge advocate when it comes to that kind of again talking about the mental health aspect of seeking help if you can, talking to somebody, anybody, or like just having conversations like these is okay too, because it opens up the window of having a common ground of sharing negative stuff, but then maybe there's alternative positives out of that, and you just never know like what someone can be inspired to talk about it or to do something about it too.
Yeah. Wow. Crazy. Well, thank you for sharing. I'm glad that your sister is is like a light and a piece of wisdom in your life, and she's obviously
awesome.
worked to kind of be the person that she is to be able to give that advice. So I commend her on that, because a lot of people who need therapy definitely probably don't go. I wasn't gonna say any names.
Not calling anyone out specifically.
Not to
but...
say anything about anyone in this Zoom call right now, but
no,
I'm just kidding.
I mean, I've tried every now and then for sure. Like I've tried maybe 2 therapists down in SoCal, and not to say it's for me. It's just like I know what I have to do. It's just that the procrastinating thing of allowing that to still happen is just like, you can change that, dude. Just stop being a dingus. Just do it. Change it.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's hard. Therapy is a different experience for everybody, and unfortunately, there's no like solve all for mental health. You know, there's just too much going on there. But as long as we're all doing our best and being the best versions of ourselves that we can be, that's all we can do. And also be kind to each other.
Absolute.
You know what I mean? It takes nothing to be kind.
Right. Yeah.
Arguably more effort to be an asshole.
Literally. It takes so much energy to be mean to people.
Like, bro.
You know, it's funny, dude, when I get mad sometimes, they're like, if I don't unleash any anger, like if I'm bottling this anger, dude, a couple minutes later, I'm already like falling asleep. I'm just like, all this energy, like anger.
Like, yeah, it exhausts your body.
Yeah.
It's like
so tiring, dude. I mean, I'm just having to knock out.
Seriously, like I'm the exact same way. Like I don't have an angry bone in my body, and I like to tell people, I'm like, I don't get angry. I get like upset. I get more sad than anything. But if
Probably
I am angry, I'm like, good night.
Angry though.
Like, maybe I'm angry. I won't argue with that one. But yeah, it's definitely exhausting to just kind of store that and hold all of that in. Like I know people that are like that, and I'm like, I'm sitting here chill and fine. And you've been clenching your jaw every night and stressed.
Finding something to be pissed about.
Yeah. And I'm like, all right, just take a breather. Like,
Well, would you mind if I ask you guys something real quick? Question real quick?
You're the interviewer now.
Right. No. Plot twist right here. I'd ask you ladies a question real quick about the, since we're talking about like, you know, how to distress or de-stress, like what's something that you guys do to yourselves to de-stress or like, you know, to calm yourself down in a sense of like anger or being upset?
Ooh, that is a good question. I find a lot of times I'm very much a journaler, so anytime I have any strong emotions, I'm like writing it down so fast and hard to the point where I like can't even read my own handwriting. I'm like, I just have to get it out of my head and out of my body and onto a paper to just kind of be able to like physically see it and know that it's like not just jumbling around in my head. And it like clears up the thoughts too, so it's not just like bundled up, stressing me out all day. I'm like, okay, this is exactly how I'm feeling in this moment. Everything's written down on paper. I can see it clearly, kind of work through it in its own way like that.
Wow, it's very unique.
Yeah.
Wow.
I don't know. I think it's a bit different now that I'm on medication.
Okay.
But before my medication, it would be like in those moments, like it was just nothing but the emotion. Like, you know, when people say like when they get angry, they see red, and that's just the expression that people use. But
sure.
It was like that for every emotion for me. Like I could see, hear, feel, understand nothing but that emotion. And so I like in unlearned toxic behaviors, I used to do harmful things. And then when I started healing, I used to do other things to shock my system, like super cold showers. I would fill my tub up with cold water and then dunk myself in it.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I would get out of the water and it would like shock my whole body to where like I would forget what I was feeling before. And it gave my brain the clarity to be like, okay, what's happening? Why am I feeling this way? And be able to work through the emotion. Like I used to, you know how people say to feel a baby bottle, like you're supposed to put the milk on your wrist because it's sensitive.
Okay.
To see if it's too hot or too cold or whatever. I used to put my hands under cold water if I couldn't fill a tub fast enough. and just like safely kind of shock my body to be like, all right, relax, we're still alive, like get out of fight or flight mode. You know, you're not just that emotion, but you need to figure out how to calm your body down before, you know, bad things happen, basically. And so I used to do things like that. I would even eating an ice cube. Cold is usually the best way to go. Splash water in your face.
It's like
you know,
reset,
go up to somebody and be like, slap me. Just a reset button. Like take those batteries out, put them back in, and then see if the toy is working. You know, it's just like one of those things where you need to find something that works for you, that places you safely outside of that emotion or outside of that headspace that you're like locked in. I think now that I'm on medication, it's a lot easier for me to breathe through whatever I'm feeling. As weird as it sounds, I literally I sound like I'm giving birth sometimes because I'm like walking around like like being so extra and dramatic about it. No, seriously, and like that's what works for me now because like it's like I have so much emotion. It's like I need to be physically doing something to exert some of it. I know a lot of people like end up going to the gym, they'll hit the punching bag, you know, and I think that Maggie's response I feel like is good for healing afterwards. Like once you can take yourself out of that after you do cold water, after you go to the gym, you know, after someone slaps you in the face, that's when you would go home and be like, all right, let me write down what I was feeling. And then it's like looking back at a VOD and analyzing your streams. You know, you look at the journal and be like, oh, I didn't realize I said it this way. I didn't realize I was feeling this in the moment. And then you're working through all of your personal shit, you know?
Yeah, and I think that what you both actually implement is a great 1-2 punch of like, you know, do Ari's and then Maggie's afterwards. Like no, honestly, it's a great
complement each other very well.
Not the whole slapping, you know, being slapped or whatever. That probably, you know, take that out of the picture. But no, that's a great method to actually, you know, de-stress because a lot of times people may take their anger out on somebody else or maybe they'll self-inflict it on themselves, and it's just like that's totally not right, you know what I mean? And honestly, there's some different ways to cope and different ways to desensitize yourself, and that's really great two ways to actually come about that. That's pretty cool. I might actually end up using that too, because I do use Maggie's method of writing journals, but for me it's a burn after reading book where this book will tell you like this question. Okay, this book will tell you questions and stuff. No, this book will tell you questions, and I'll write that stuff down. And if that's not working, I do happen to have a therapy book. Like my therapist back in 2019 gifted me this book. Who needs a therapist?
You have all the books at home.
I do have that. Yeah,
you're doing the work.
That or just calling somebody too. Like I feel terrible. My moderator Digi, he's one of my good buddies who lives 2 or 3 hours away from me, or like in the what do you call it, up in the New Orleans area.
Oh yeah.
And this guy has heard me cry. He's heard me, you know, be pissed off about things and stuff, but like if you have someone that you can call, definitely like just to vent and stuff. And he's been very respectful of like, you know, and I've been very respectful of his time too, where I'll call him for like certain things, especially like the one of the cases of 2022 where it almost ended my life and stuff. I had called him prior, like the night before, and we were on the phone for like an hour or two. It was just like, you know, hearing me just bawling out crying, and like if am I still worth something? I don't know. Do I feel accomplished, or all these different things? And he really was a huge motivator of like, hey, let's just calm things down, think about these things through and stuff. And yeah, he's seen me through the ground up of like things that have been gone behind the scenes and stuff. And so if you have that certain individual that's willing to listen to you and stuff, appreciate them very much. And you know, when they say call whenever about anything, take advantage of that, because you don't find individuals like that often.
I was gonna say, not everyone is not like everybody. That and means it.
Absolutely.
Yeah. It's definitely important to find those people that you can go to and they can equally go to you. There's nothing better than like a relationship with somebody that is reciprocated. And just, you know, you balance each other out. When one's down, the other's up, and you work together and vice versa. And it's really hard to find, but it's one of the best things that anyone can have.
Definitely, because online you can be as happy, sunshine and rainbows all you want.
Yeah.
But behind closed doors, if it's not the same thing, dude, it's gonna blow up in your face, dude.
For sure. Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, I appreciate this deep talk.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
But we have some light-hearted questions to end on.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Some silly little questing hour questions.
Silly little
Yeah.
questing hour questions.
No, and I love the
hours, yeah.
conversations at school. Like honestly, like even these little like
Mhm.
just being here and like with you guys, it's just like it makes my day, it makes my week of like, you know, like somebody out there will listen to this and like will be like, fuck, dude, these all these guys are fucking like they have knowledge or like they're inspiring and stuff. So like thank you for giving someone this platform to listen to and like to speak on too. Like it's really awesome. I love
and
this.
thank you for joining us and being so vulnerable and open and willing to share.
Seriously. And you were so nervous before, and I was like, just you wait. Just you wait.
I'll say this. I'm nervous. I was nervous because I care. Okay.
Exactly.
Yeah, I'm nervous because I care. Yeah.
What did I say last episode?
Right? I'm nervous because I care.
I was like, a good friend of mine once told me, like, you're nervous because you care. And I tell everybody that.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go cry. Hang on.
That is my best piece of advice I've ever heard.
Oh, that's so great.
I appreciate that. That was hard to think.
I tell everybody that. And for proof, Slowpoke, you can look at this Thursday's episode.
Yeah.
All right.
That's amazing.
Hell
but
yeah,
no, I think, like I said earlier in the video, like these conversations are worth having. And you know, Maggie and I have heard after doing these conversations, like after the recording has ended and we're saying goodbye and like touching base with our whoever we're interviewing, is that like we are very easy to talk to and we're very easy to you know, people seem to feel comfortable, and you know, I'm glad that people feel welcome. And because everyone, this is an open space. We you know, anything you want to talk about, we are here for whatever it is that comes out of our mouths, you know?
Right.
And I'm glad that you felt comfortable enough, like being vulnerable with us and sharing those things and having, you know, mental health can be a hard talk.
Just the trust too. Honestly, you guys have been on a roll, and like just hearing your episodes and stuff, and like, you know, not to say I wasn't like nervous to like in a very like, oh, like am I gonna fuck up or whatever. It's just like, no, I'm nervous because like, dude, I'm fucking excited as fuck, dude. Like, I feel so fucking honored. So thank you.
Oh, yeah,
of course, of course. All right, now I need you to close your eyes and picture this. There's a castle in the distance, and from the castle a forest trickles closer to you, and in the forest there are magical creatures with fairies flapping their wings and dragons in the sky. And there's little creatures and animals drinking out of the crystal clear lake, and it's so beautiful and serene. And there you are, standing in the middle of all of it. Would you say you are a knight, a wizard, a king, or a gnome?
Can I open my eyes now? Or where's the microphone?
You have permission to open your eyes.
Thank you for picturing.
Oh yeah. There's a once famous wizard, or one famous person that said this: "You're a wizard, Harry." And I'm a what? And they'll be like, "Are you deaf?"
I'm a what?
I'm a wizard.
Good answer.
No, definitely wizard.
Definitely wizard. Everybody seems to pick wizard these days.
Oh, serious?
I don't know. I think that's a little funny.
Not me. I'm a knight all the way.
Hey.
I am our local wizard, and Maggie is our local knight.
You say loco like crazy? Loco?
Local wizard.
Local.
Oh, local.
There's a crazy wizard.
That's a local wizard. Oh, that's amazing.
Everyone's a wizard, but you're the local one.
Yeah,
you're the local one.
I'll take that. That's okay.
Yeah.
That's so true.
Yeah.
Alrighty, Maggie.
I like it. All right. Well, in this fantasy world, we're sticking around. You decide, I like this place. I'm going to build a castle. So you can build whatever castle you want. Where is it going to be? And what does it look like? In excruciating detail.
In as much detail as possible.
Yeah.
All right. You're going to picture yourself in Scotland. I don't know why Scotland, but you're going to be up in the mountains, up in, you know, it's just nothing but skies and like greener grass and stuff. And in the very top of this mountain, you're going to see a freaking castle. And this freaking castle once you actually enter, it's gonna be nothing but shrimp cocktail buffets and like strip clubs everywhere and like every corner and stuff, strippers and stuff.
Private strip rooms for everybody.
all nude. So like, hey, it's all crazy, right? And then in the middle of this castle inside,
like Playboy Bunny in a castle.
Yes, all the MILFs, please. Anyway, in the middle of this castle is a professional wrestling ring. The ropes are barbed wire. There's pyro going around and stuff, right? And I'm the announcer, and I'm like, ring the bell. And so like with the wizarding wand, like there's like people wrestling and stuff, blood and guts everywhere. And then like in the corner of like the little snack bar is an extra butter popcorn machine.
Beautiful.
Oh my gosh. That is the most iconic castle we have heard to date.
Oh my god.
Nobody has brought strippers yet.
No, the popcorn.
Yeah. I love the popcorn.
Yeah. Yeah. Popcorn's great.
And specifically Cinemark. I'm watching you, Cinemark. If you're watching this, Cinemark extra butter popcorn, you'll be on that castle.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
Cinemark, sponsor him and
Cinemark
give him all the popcorn.
Yeah.
And
all you single milfs out there, hi. Slowpoke.
Well, also hit him up.
Hit him up. He's single.
Yeah.
Got a castle.
Ready to mingle. He's got a castle with strippers in it.
Yeah.
I mean, if we want to take it seriously, we'll kick them out.
We'll take the strippers.
We can get rid of the strippers.
Yeah.
Keep the shrimp
Keep the poles.
Keep the shrimp. I love that on the outside it's like a beautiful, serene, normal castle, and then on the inside it's like a freaking circus.
Yeah.
It's like a party in there, non-stop.
Rock and heavy metal rap.
Oh my god, that's incredible. Yeah.
That is crazy. That is so funny.
That
is. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
All right, one of the craziest castles.
Yeah,
I will
literally
say.
Fantastic. And we only have one more question for you, but it is
one more task.
arguably the most important. So
let's hear it.
You did your research. You know what's up with the questing hour. At the end of every episode, we give our viewers a side quest for the week, something for them to look forward to, try to go out of their way and complete something just to get them to break their routine, do something with intentionality.
Okay.
So since you're our very special guest, you get to come up with a side quest for our viewers.
That's your job.
A side quest for the viewers?
Yep. You tell our viewers what to do.
Yeah. Anything you want. Yeah.
Anything. Any side quest.
Yes.
For breaking a routine. Read a book. And not just any book. I'm not saying a comic book, like a autobiography book. Maybe a chapter off or something. I don't know. Maybe something that happened, autobiography from a celebrity to a situation that happened or something like that. Because with these autobiographies, sometimes they get overlooked and like, it's just someone's life or whatever. Maybe a tragedy happened. Or just like, it's always good to know about our history sometimes. And whether it is actual history, like in the books, or like maybe a certain individual that you admire. Maybe, for example, may I grab a book real quick?
Yeah,
It's my only book that I have.
You get one book.
So I say autobiography because my whole life, my mantra is that everything revolves around professional wrestling. I've been watching wrestling since I was 10 years old. Anything, all the characters and stuff, well, like, yeah, for sure, it's all scripted. It's all basically soap opera type of stuff, right? But for me, dude, I take it to heart. There's this guy named John Moxley who was in the WWE in the system for a long time, and after a while, it just became kind of corny. It was just really PG and very constricted of what his character is, because now that he's in All Elite Wrestling and AEW, he is this like barbaric dude. He bleeds every week and like busts out the barbed wire bats, the tables. He cusses. He has very vocal ranges of like monologues and storytelling and stuff. And like once I heard that he was going to come out with a book, autobiography book called Mox. I don't read very often, dude. I've said this plenty of times. I'm not a bookworm, or I'm not to disregard anybody that reads and stuff like that. But I envy those that can read, because like to be just turning chapters in a book, dude, it's really hard for me to my attention span. You know what I mean? But just hearing his stories about his trial and tribulations and stuff, of how long he's been wanting to do this career path of like changing his ways, being just himself. It reflects on my end too. We're just like, dude, like this type of stuff right here, that what he's gone through stuff, it might not be exactly what he's gone through and stuff, but it's just like, for me, like to almost borrow some quotes of like when he's talking about like being crazy enough to do whatever it is that you're passionate about. And people call them crazy. Like I was saying earlier, like you have to be crazy to, love what you do and stuff, and to be motivated to do the stuff that you want to do. And so with this book, and like being an autobiography book, it really does help out with maybe something will trigger positives in your life, or something that will break that routine of like reading something. So yeah, definitely, if you can read a chapter off of an autobiography book, to the viewers out there, that is the quest for this week's episode.
Yes,
I love that. That is awesome. Yeah. Very unique.
Yeah, it's definitely, and I love that it's specific. It's not just like go read a book. It's like go read an autobiography.
Yeah.
And I think that's partially why I like having guests on for Thursdays, is because we get to learn from like us and our viewers get to learn from you as much as hopefully you learn from us. And we get to share our perspectives and just talk on whatever it is that comes to mind, especially about living our best lives and living each day intentionally. And I think when you read about other people's lives, the same way that you can learn from history is that you can learn from these people who wrote about their lives and what they went through and what they learned, and you can use that and apply it to your own lives.
Yeah, because again, John Moxley, he's gone through some bad times and stuff, and you can kind of like sort of like connect with the bad times, with being depressed or having anxiety or having some sort of like self-doubt and stuff, and finding that connection. There will be something that will bring a positive in that, and whether it's just talking about it, that's even more than enough than what you've already weren't even anticipating to actually have somewhat of a topic to be brought about to make conversation of. And then maybe that right there will like inspire you to change something different in you, to have some positive in your life. And so hopefully with that, just stay the course. Like people see you, people are seeing you, you're being noticed, and it might not be like directly into your face, but people are seeing you like doing your thing, and like just continue on and keep that grind. Honestly, it will pay off.
Yeah,
awesome.
Absolutely.
Well, you heard it here, guys. Go find an autobiography and even read just one chapter if you're not a reader. Check out Mox. If you can't think of any autobiographies, I definitely recommend "I'm Glad My Mom Died" by Jeanette McCurdy. It is very insightful.
That is a wonderful book.
It's a wonderful, incredible book. I literally could not put it down.
Too.
It's very bold. It's very emotion packed. Definitely read the trigger warnings for any books that you read, not even just autobiographies. But yeah, that is a really good one as well. We're coming to the end now. So Slowpoke, tell our listeners where they can find you.
Well, before anyone can find me, I want to thank both of you for being such wonderful hosts, for what you do on this platform, what you've done for those that have previously jumped on here and picked their brains up. Because honestly, at the end of the day, we all have different lives, different adjustments to scheduling, to what we do ourselves, to, self-love. And so with giving that platform to those that have participated in here, thank you for even having me over here. And that's just forgetting about that too, because I honestly was very, very excited to be here. Very, very nervous to jump on here, but because I care in doing what you love, and it's very inspiring. Do what you love, and this right here, I appreciate it very much. Thank you.
Thank you.
But yes, you can find me twitch.tv/SlowpokeFelitos. My monologue here, my little spiel. I am SlowpokeFelitos. I'm a part-time streamer, part-time alcoholic, a seasonal Catholic no more, and an official Lego builder, license holder. Also,
he builds
a full-time
Legos.
father. I build Legos, as you can see here. But I am a full-time father and some people say full-time, but I'm part-time dingus. But you can find me on all social media platforms.
He's got to be a father sometimes, guys.
Right.
You can find me on all social media platforms, Instagram, TikToks, YouTube, anywhere you can find the social media platforms. My OnlyFeeds link may or may not work, so go on and see if you can just try it out.
But see for yourself.
See for yourself.
Not for the free.
But for the most part, you can find me over on Instagram. I post stories every day on the IG stories, either promoting, sharing about things that are happening in my life, about probably promoting your guys' podcast too, and then promoting other people's streams and stuff too, because like at the end of the day, that organic networking is a special thing that I am very proud of and stuff. And so definitely, if you can't find me over on twitch.tv/SlowpokeFelitos, find me over on Instagram at SlowpokeFelitos.
Awesome.
Wonderful.
Okay. Well, thank you again for joining us. It has been so great. It's been such a great talk. It's been so much fun.
I know. I feel like we could actually keep going, but we simply cannot. We
But
must cut ourselves off.
This is the quest in 2 hours, I think.
Well, if the opportunity does strike, I would love to come back for a round 2.
Absolutely. Yeah. Anytime you want.
Hell yeah.
You heard it here, listeners and viewers. That's where you can find Slowpoke. We'll have all of his stuff linked in our YouTube if you guys want to hop over there from Spotify and YouTube. You already know the deal. We are available on both platforms. We post every Monday and Thursday. And where can they find us, Maggie?
You can find us literally anywhere, pretty much every social media platform, Questing HR Podcast, YouTube and Spotify, Questing Hour Podcast, and Twitter, it's just Questing Hour. And we post all the time. We're going to put up some more content soon. We're working on some little projects on the way. And you can find us here on Monday and Thursday. And we will see you next week.
Farewell, travelers.
Farewell.